just be the best, right?
Of course.
In everything. So that's a mind f right there,
Yeah.
you know. And if you have that mental struggle, and starting from elementary school already, again from your background, from your childhood days to elementary school to middle school to high school and then to college, and if it's your pattern is consistent with how you were as you were little, of course you're not going to be productive in the end, you know, as an adult, unless if you really work on yourself. That's why.
It's one of those weird things because like I try not to throw myself in the mix, but when I went to school in high school, I was probably C average. 2.3 was my grade point average. I was not interested in going to college at all. My mindset was I'm going to be a cop and I don't need to go to college. But as I went to the Army, my recruiter was like, look, get your butt in college.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't want to. Here we are years later now, and I'm enrolling full-time for respiratory therapy school. So in my mind, I know that when I was in school, I didn't really apply myself.
Yeah.
So I guess you can say I was part of that lazy group, even though I had a good support system because my dad was there, my mom was there, they were split up. But they were still there. You know, I didn't have, you know, my parents like kind of looking over my head for you have to do your homework. I just knew if I don't do it, I don't pass. So knock that out. But when I went to the combat medic training, that's where I had to take it a little bit more serious because it turns into if I fail this, then it's on you.
Yes.
You don't get this EMT cert and all that. That was my whole main thing.
That's when you finally started growing up, right, as a man, and finally started realizing, okay, I really need to get my act together.
Well, right? When I started working as a bill collector, I knew that there, like, you know, I have to make sure to grow up and everything.
Yeah.
That's when I took the EMT course too. But I was like, okay, this is something I'm not really taking serious. I'm into bill collections. I'm going to take this one serious.
Yeah.
But later in life, I found out I should have taken this one more serious. But who knows? Maybe everything worked out the way it did, and then it put me on that path to where I ended up going.
Yeah.
But in ART school, I remember there was a bunch of people in the school, and then there was some that were, you know, like they got the money. There was one kid who, you know, he's the smart guy and everything. There's another kid who he has a job waiting for him because his dad was an RT, and those two failed the first term.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There was like it seemed like the group of us that was older who knew that like this is what we wanted to do and we have to go ahead and we have to apply ourselves. We were the ones that were to make it through.
Yeah.
And then I remember they just seemed like the younger generation, the younger kids in the class, they were the ones who weren't passing. And I remember one woman, she was I
mean, I think that really tends to fall on, I think that's normal of young kids, right? Some are really straightforward. They know what they want, so they're go-getters. A lot of young kids too. They're like, I kind of don't know what I want yet. They're indecisive, undecisive. Don't know. They're still trying to figure themselves out as well, especially for men, right? So we're talking about men, right? Because the girl was saying it's easier for men. No, like I was in pre-med and it definitely was not easy because I had friends that were already in med school and they're like, here you go, boom, stack of books, this is your girlfriend for the next 3-4 years, you know?
Pretty much.
And it's really, is that what you want? Is that what you want in your life, you know? So it really depends. Like for him, he did it. He became a doctor. He's an amazing doctor.
Cool.
But and again, it really falls on the mentality, you know, because I know a lot of people that went to pre-med and went in med school. Actually, my older sister's friend, he was about to graduate in med school and then he dropped out.
Dang, why?
Because he didn't like it anymore.
Yeah, I've seen
and
that
you know
in
why?
School too.
He didn't want to be in med school. He was only there because of his parents. That's another thing too.
Yeah, and this is where the mindset, you know, and this is why I feel like it was better for me to have done it as an adult, whereas you know, as a kid.
Yeah.
But I think men have it easier than women? No.
No,
And the
man.
reason why is because we have to hustle hard to get ourselves up to a certain level.
Yes.
And then even get to that certain level, now, if depending on how you did it, you're coming with this baggage of debt.
Yeah.
So, and this is where if you don't understand finances, that baggage of debt can start increasing.
Exactly.
So,
For real.
I remember even after becoming an RT, and then I see other RTs, we're working the same job, but why would you buy a Lexus?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I think healthcare workers in general,
Mm-hmm.
whether nurses, MDs, PAs, RTs, X-ray techs, they don't know, or a lot of healthcare workers don't know how to really manage their money
That's for
because they're getting that paycheck, right?
Mhm.
Like, it's good. I'm gonna get my Lexus. I'm gonna get my. There's a RN in NorCal that got a Lamborghini.
Jeez.
Guess how much his freaking payment was?
10,000.
I think it was 4 or 5K a month. Like, and he's still a working nurse.
Mhm.
Okay, I think he also has. I'm not sure. I don't remember what else he had, but he had another biz. I don't know. I don't want to misinform you, but he
Yeah.
was definitely a nurse, right? For me, it's like, dang. Now that we're trying to do our entrepreneurial stuff, like,
Mm-hmm. It's like you gotta make your money count.
yeah.
You can't just throw your money away on stuff like, you know.
Even as RTs now, like when I started doing travel,
Mm-hmm.
2021, right? In the beginning of 2021, and I was making mad money.
Yeah.
Per week?
Them assignments.
Per week. I was making 6 figs of that year,
Yeah.
you know? And I was able to, and then for the past 2-3 years now, I was able to provide 2 Disney cruises for
Mhm.
my kids and then a Hawaii vacation as well. And yeah, that's cool. And I was able to invest in IRA and the traditional, either traditional or Roth, right? And then I think it was a 529. If anybody knows what that is, and then for my kids to set money aside for my kids because they're growing, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people really know about financial literacy. That's another thing.
Yeah. And then that's one thing I was thinking about, how they talk about how guys were high value for making 6 figures. You can realize that if you just get an assignment, if we're making 2K a week, that right there is 6 figures.
Yeah.
So that's not even, we're like not even getting those assignments. We're getting the ones that are higher.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's why for me, I don't understand why more people wouldn't want to travel. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, like I don't want to look at it as bragging. I want to look at it as, you know, why limit yourself?
Dude.
Especially when people are like in the NICU and PICU. Like, you guys are a rarity. You guys, there's always assignments out there.
Yeah.
Every time I see an assignment, it's like 3,200 or whatever a week. I'm like, oh, I bet that's NICU. I'm gonna apply to it, but
Yeah.
I bet you it's NICU, PICU. So as soon as they tell me, there was one actually, it opened up. I applied to it right away. It was like, it was 28 to 32. It was one of those. And they called me up and they're like, oh yeah, this is for UCLA. Do you have NICU, PICU? And I'm like, sorry, I don't. Well, we'll keep track of you, and if you have if we have something that opens up, then we'll go ahead and go your way. So yeah, it didn't happen. So
but yeah, like, and are we in agreement that men have it harder than women?
Oh yeah.
Let's try to see why women have it a little bit easier.
Yeah. I think women have it easier because they don't necessarily have to go and go to school to get that good job and all that stuff. A lot of women out there are in school. They get degrees that are, you know, not necessarily paying the best. They get stuff, social worker, you know, human resources, gender studies, things, teachers and stuff like that. It's like, okay, you get a degree in it. You may become a bachelor's or a master's, which means that you're good at school.